When we last left off, Jazz had recently become the new Prime of this universe and got a warning from his Optimus Prime that a new darkness was coming upon this verse from his own. And now he has to figure out, what Prime does he want to be? How does he want to lead this team? Does he change himself for the sake of what's going on? And how does he make his team better than what they were before? That's all what we're gonna find out here. Jazz is busy pacing outside the base, talking to Cliffjumper about how he never really thought in all of these years he would become Prime. And to which Cliff is like, I mean, hey, you earned it, right? Doesn't it feel great to be it? And he says, that's just a thing though. It kind of does, but it doesn't. You see, back in his world, Primes were born for it. And here, they can be chosen, especially like just out of the blue or out of nowhere. He doesn't even know if he's really worthy of it, but yet here he is bearing the Matrix. Does he change? Is he himself? Does he have to be like their Optimus? To which this is where Cliffjumper states, dude, look at what you've done so far. Not only have you been a thorn, especially in Megatron's side, because I mean, dear Lord here, you've also been one of the most reliable people that has come here so far. Even having other lieutenants like Jetfire over there following you and being able to convince one of Megatron's most loyal Decepticons to follow them, to follow the cause. And, well, to be kind of honest, dude, you've been doing great. So why do you feel like you need to change yourself the way that you are now? I mean, look at us. One big happy family, right? And just think about it. You have so much growth and so much to honestly do. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to not only restore Cybertron, but to end this war once and for all. Doesn't that feel great? And to which Jazz says, yeah, it feels great and everything. Possibly having a true happy ending for the Autobots, right? But he feels like there's still more. There's something more for him that he needs to do. He wants to be better. He wants to be stronger, but he doesn't know how to go about it. How does he be the Prime that he wants to be without compromising what it means to be a Prime? To which, this is where Cliffjumper says, look, I'm going to keep it real with you. Not all the Primes were great in this timeline. To which, this is where Jazz looks at him like, huh? What do you mean all the Primes were great? And this is where Cliffjumper simply explains, look, we've had some questionable individuals in the office. Our High Council was actually corrupt. Crazy, I know, right? Such a profound thing. You probably didn't have that in your world, I'm guessing. To which he says, no, I didn't. I had two Primes, well, one being obviously my Optimus and his predecessor, Sentinel. Now, while, yeah, Sentinel wasn't the greatest of Primes, he still was a great leader nevertheless and united our planet. Just wondering how he's doing now. To which, if we all know how that Sentinel is doing. And this is where Cliffjumper begins to explain his Sentinel, or at least his Zeta Prime. His Zeta Prime was, I guess you can say, a loyal Autobot, dedicated to the cause, and, well, was one of their best, and I mean best tacticians, which is why the war dragged out for so long. However, the problem definitely came when it came down to, well, how he really did it. He made deals, used underhanded tactics, things that nearly kept compromising the Autobot code. And even on some occasions, and while this is speculation, it's very possible he set some of us up just to die. To which, this is where Jazz is a bit taken aback. He's never heard of a corrupted Prime before. He's always heard about them being strong, sturdiest, and sometimes having their own sense of humor. But he does think about this and tells Tail Cliff Jumper, thank you. Meanwhile, back in the base, the other Autobots are brainstorming with the rest of the new Dinobots. And the Dinobots have actually become a lot better amongst the ranks, finding their niche. Paddles spends a lot more time with Ratchet learning all about the medical, facilities of Cybertron. And in all honesty, how to work them. So Paddles becomes the Dinobots team medic, while Slash and Strafe both actually begin to learn their leadership qualities from RC and Jetfire. Meanwhile, Scorn and Goryu both learn the art of combat from Skyquake and Wheeljack. So the Autobots and Dinobots are all teaching each other something. Not only does this allow the Autobots to grow as mentors and hopefully much more in the future, but it actually gives the Dinobots something to work around and something to work with. And this is where I would definitely say an energy signature pops up, but not only on the Autobot ship, but on the Decepticon warship as well. Megatron is elated, now sporting his latest weapon, the Requiem Blaster, like he got in the original. And he decided to connect it to his Spark, and, well, obviously Knockout and Shockwave together would be able to accomplish this. And this is where they pick up an energy signature, more powerful than anything. Its residual energy matches the time when Jazz first came to this dimension. However, Megatron feels something about this energy. It's calling him, come to me, come to me, come to me. The voice in his head the voice in his head simply states, and the dark energon within him glows again. And while he thinks it's Unicron, he doesn't see him in his head. He doesn't feel Unicron in his Spark. It feels something different, something more, I guess you could say, methodical than before. And so Megatron decides that he will go himself. However, he tells Predaking to come with him. Meanwhile, back at the Autobot base, the Autobots also see this as well, and now they have to make a decision. Are they going to go or are they going to leave it? So this is where Jazz actually decides to take Slash and RC with him. However, RC says, one moment, please, and actually grabs the Apex armor that she confiscated from Arachnid. And the Autobots did manage to, get it back, all the relics from Cybertron and stuff, or at least from Darkmount and everything, when Jazz pretty much came up all primed out and stuff with the Star Saber and just straight up raided the place. So, believe it or not, everything goes the same. However, before Jazz goes, he makes a visit to Optimus Prime's grave. And, well, Optimus Prime and Smokescreen's grave. And simply tells them he hopes he's doing right by them, before leaving with the Dinobot leader and his second in command. So, with that being said here, where do they go? I would actually say it's in a barren wasteland of a destroyed, I would probably say, military base. And this is where both sides arrive at the opposite ends. Megatron and Predaking immediately transform into their respective flying forms and, well, fly off. However, this means that they spot the Autobots almost immediately. And Megatron says, hold them off while I get the relic, or while I find what we're looking for. And this is where Predaking dive bombs upon Jazz, RC, and Slash, and he simply tells them, get ready, dropping his visor and donning a new battle mask that honestly would suit him. I'm not sure how it would look here, but it definitely looks something similar to Optimus's, but it would be like a combination of Bumblebees or Baver's Bumblebees. So essentially kind of like a full-faced, full-plated face mask and everything, just to kind of make him look cooler, something that Jazz would honestly love, and it just fits him, okay? He's got his own full body face mask and everything. So this is where RC puts on the Apex armor and Slash goes into her Raptor form. And this is where they engage Predaking. Now, if I have ever told y'all that they would be able to beat Predaking with this kind of combination, Slash is already fast and agile enough to know that she can take on Predaking by herself. But adding an Autobot with the Apex armor that is capable, mind you, and not afraid to fight, as long as with Jazz, who's wielding the Star Saber like it's a whole piece at this point. Yeah, I would hate to say it, but yeah, Predaking does die here. And it's not a quick and easy death. He puts up a valiant effort, but Predaking is killed at this point. I know, a bit early. I know there might be some complaints in the comments, but here's the thing. What happens? Do they just knock him out and go? No, at this point, the Autobots aren't playing. They're not messing around. They've literally made Dinobots. Their own Dinobots, if you will. And the funny part about this is Jazz has never been playing since the beginning. We know the Autobots are not playing. They're more trained, they're more specialized, they're more willing to put the enemy down at this point. Main Decepticon or not. All right? They are willing to get this done and they want this war to end. Meanwhile, Megatron is making his way into the facility. And this is where he gets a contact from Starscream informing him that Predaking is offline. And this is where the other Predacons both look in absolute disbelief, with Grimwing even stating that with his master gone, he is the one that shall take up the reins as leader of the Predacons. And this is where Stryker simply states, absolutely not. You are under my command now. You will all operate efficiently under mine. And this is where infighting almost starts, but Soundwave makes a little bit of a sonic pulse, if you will, to get everyone to kind of silence at the moment so that Megatron can focus. And well, Megatron makes his way through this abandoned facility, and this is where he finds the body of none other than Megatron? What the heck? What do you mean, Megatron? Yeah, believe it or not, this is '07 Megatron, meaning a good amount of the Bayverse continuity had changed significantly. You see, with Megatron not there, that means Starscream in the Bayverse was leader of the Decepticons, the full-fledged leader. And with Megatron not around, this means he's working alongside the likes of Shockwave and Soundwave and the Fallen. Meaning a significant portion of the Bayverse has changed for, in all honesty, the better. With Megatron not there, Megatron not being able to be resurrected, this means that the Autobots honestly just have a full edge from start to finish, possibly even including a very different ending to Age of Extinction. But hey, maybe I'll make a little bit of a bonus video explaining the Bayverse continuity and how it changed. Would you guys like that? Let me know in the comment section down below. But how did Megatron get here? And this is where Megatron begins to look through the body. And well, this is where he feels the voice in his head. And it says, take it. Take it. Take it. And this is where Megatron pulls a shard out of the dead '07 Megatron's chest, and he feels, and he grabs, the Allspark shard, and it radiates with its remaining power that is still there. Raw, volatile, unmatched energy. And Megatron feels it coursing through him. It resonates with him. And this is where Megatron simply holds it and is about to leave, but he tells Soundwave to come to his coordinates with everything he has. And this is where a space bridge opens, and as Jazz, RC, and Slash come in, this is where the rest of the Predacons, Grimwing, Skystalker, Laserback, and Ripclaw all pretty much come out, along with Stryker, Cyclonus, Blackout, Starscream, Knockout, and Breakdown. The entirety of the Decepticons' main forces are now there. And this is where Viacons pour in as well. And believe it or not, this changes a significant amount here, as now the Autobots are on, I guess you could say, somewhat of a back foot, Now, the Star Saber and Requiem Blaster are able to clash equally. However, seeing the massive amount of destruction it caused and knowing that Slash can't handle all these Predacons by herself, this is where Jazz simply makes sure he gets a good look at his Megatron and ultimately tells Ratchet to give them a bridge out of here now. And so they ultimately do have to retreat. But Megatron doesn't leave, '07 Megatron's body there. No. He brings it back to the bridge or back to this warship along with Predaking's body. And this is where they're simply wondering what's going on. And this is where he simply states, if this Allspark shard had led me here and has been able to merge our dimensions, I wonder what it could do with beings. To which Shockwave says, then it could be experimental, my lord. It could also be very dangerous. And this is where Megatron says, yes, but sometimes the hardest of choices fall upon leaders. True leaders, mind you. And this is where Megatron not only clenches the Allspark, but begins to resonate with his energy. He feels it coursing through him as he begins to focus himself. Focuses that energy around him and then around the bodies of '07 Megatron and Predaking. Their bodies begin to dismantle. The very alloy and protoforms of them coming apart. And this is where Megatron simply floats in the air, surrounded by all these pieces, as the Predacons and Decepticons alike all look in absolute disbelief. They look as if they seen, God himself. And this is where not only does Megatron merge, his body begins to mold. It begins to change. And the Allspark fragment itself is now fully absorbed into Megatron. His Requiem Blaster fully merging with him. The alloys of both Predacon and Bayverse coming together along with his body. And there stands before us a new and improved Megatron. However, when Shockwave simply addresses him as Lord Megatron, Megatron says, no, that is no longer my name. And believe it or not, Megatron looks like his last night self, but there's a twist. Combining those Predacon parts along with '07 Megatron's parts, we get something that we should have had. Megatron as a dragon. Ooh, scary, I know. And this is where he simply says, I am Galvatron. And we will rid this world of every single Autobot. Maybe even ridding them across the universe. And this is where when he clenches his fist, it glows in a purple cosmic flame, showing that his power has become something vastly different. Over with the Autobots, they're now lamenting about how they saw something and they don't know what it is. However, Jazz simply explains, oh, we're in for it, all right. To which this is where Wheeljack simply asks him, what do you mean? To which this is where he simply states, that was his Megatron. And when he touches his, side, he begins to play a holographic projection of his Megatron. The deeds he's done, the things he's done, the fighting, the monstrous nature of him, how he was uncanny, unnatural, a demon, if you will, in terms of the human sense. And this is where Sierra simply notes and asks Jazz, wait, is this the one that, to which he says, yeah, this is the one that will rip out your spark and eat it. To which they all find that not only horrifying, but abysmal as well. And this is where Jazz simply states he hopes that they do find a way to permanently put him down. Because I have no doubt that he got here through the same way I did, that being the Allspark, a force of nature that created his universe, or maybe even more, and simply gave life to all the Cybertronians. However, the Allspark can merge dimensions, and this is where Ratchet simply understands where he's going. What if it can merge beings? So you're saying Megatron would ultimately fuse himself with this more detestful Megatron, Skyquake says. And this is where Jazz says he has no doubt in his mind that he would do such a thing. And not only that, if that's the case, then it's very possible he may have merged with Predaking as well. To which this is where Goryu simply interjects, then why don't we just make you stronger? And he says, what do you mean? To which Goryu picks up the forge. You got one more burst of energy here, but we gotta make you something. What if we make you into a beast as well? Or at least, somewhat similar to it. To which, Jazz is like, he's already been upgraded multiple times. He already has been hit with the forge and, well, got his magnetic boost from merging with the Polarity Gauntlet. And then, honestly, the Matrix of Leadership. And now he has the Star Saber. What more could he give? To which Slash simply states, yeah, I think it might work. I mean, who knows what you could become? You could probably become something far more effective and far more dangerous than even the likes of Megatron. Who knows what you would have? To which Jazz is understanding and picking up what they're laying down, but he says that, well, he has never scanned a new form yet, so I guess that kind of, doesn't really change too much about it. And this is where they say, great, so why don't we make him a new form? To which, this is where he looks at the human that says it, Miko, to which he's like, okay, what do you have in mind? And she says, ooh, there are a bunch of creatures in mythology. If this Megatron somehow just becomes some giant monster or, some type of new Cybertronian Ultra Dragon, to which Bulkhead actually laughs at this and says, now that's terrifying. I know, right? Miko simply replies. And this is where she says, what if we turned you into something bigger? Or maybe something that fits you? You never know. You might actually enjoy being a triple changer. To which all the Autobots look at her like, wait a minute. She's cooking right now. But this is where Jazz simply notes, all right, I could deal with it. But first things first, he needs a new set of wheels. And this is where Agent Fowler says he's got a perfect, and I mean a perfect idea. So this is where Jazz goes to actually a car rally, or an abandoned car rally at night, and he actually scans himself a new vehicle form, something fast and slick. And I would actually say it's more of a, I guess you could say, a prime-verse version of a Ferrari, if you will, something that really suits him and stands out. So once he gets his vehicle form, this is where he actually gets his T-Cog not only surgically removed, but reconfigured. Because again, triple changers do have specialized T-Cogs that actually allow them to scan more than just one vehicle form or another form entirely. So this does mean that Jazz does become a triple changer. But now on to the next thing. What does he scan? What actually gets his attention? And so this is where Miko runs down through the list. How about this one? No. How about this one? No. How about this one? I mean, it just screams you, right? And this is where Jazz looks at the creature and says, this will actually do perfectly. What is it called? And this is where Miko says a Mizuchi. And this is where Jazz scans the Japanese folklore dragon and simply feels the body, or simply feels it converting him a little bit. And well, he now has the form. And that's where we're going to leave off here, you guys. How do you guys feel about Jazz becoming a triple changer with him having his robot form? his car form, and now his new beast form. How do you guys feel about me using the dragon version of Megatron from the last night by merging him and Predaking along with the '07 Megatron with the power of the Allspark, which is creation itself? But hey, that's me all today, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share it with your friends. And things are about to get hectic from here on out. Peace.